Global catastrophe. The 4.2 kiloyear event occurred around 2200 BCE. That's roughly 4,225 years ago. It was a climatic catastrophe that caused a global drought lasting about 200 years. This event struck the world's first major civilizations. Akkad, ancient Egypt, and the Indus Valley played a critical role in their collapse and is therefore considered one of the most significant turning points in human history. Scientists believe there were four main mechanisms that triggered this catastrophe: the sun's quiet phase, the collapse of the monsoon system, mega-volcanic eruptions, and sudden changes in ocean currents. It all starts with the sun. The sun is not just a source of light, it's Earth's climate engine. The sun's spots on its surface indicate how intensely energy is being emitted. Around 4,200 years ago, these sunspots suddenly decreased. Scientists call this the solar minimum, meaning the sun emitted less energy for a period of time. This small change caused global temperatures to drop. As Earth cooled, evaporation slowed, cloud formation decreased, and the rainfall cycle began to break down. But this wasn't just a theory, evidence confirmed it. Scientists examined tree rings from that era. Each year, a tree records carbon isotopes in its rings. These isotopes reflect the amount of cosmic radiation coming from the sun. The rings corresponding to 2200 BCE show increased radiation, indicating the sun had quieted. The collapse of the monsoons. The monsoon rains, which today shape the lives of millions, determined the fate of civilizations back then. The monsoon system works because of temperature differences between land and ocean. In summer, the land heats up, warm air rises, and moist air comes in from the sea, bringing rainfall. But when the sun's power diminished, the land couldn't heat up as it once did. The air didn't rise, moisture wasn't transported, and the rain stopped. The monsoon system literally collapsed. Scientists studied marine sediments in the Indian Ocean and the Arabian Sea. Oxygen isotope ratios in these layers show a dramatic drop in rainfall around 2200 BCE. Lake beds in Pakistan and India from the same period also reveal signs of drying. When the monsoon stopped, it wasn't just the sky that went dry. Entire civilizations did too. The shadow of volcanoes. Some scientists believe a massive volcano erupted in Iceland or Indonesia at the time. Sulfate and ash injected into the atmosphere reflected sunlight, rapidly cooling the Earth. This reduced rainfall and further dropped global temperatures. Ice cores from Greenland contain layers dating to around 2200 BCE with high sulfate concentrations. This indicates massive volcanic activity. The ash covered the skies, disrupted the rainfall cycle, and diminished the sun's impact even more. The ocean stops. The bond. 3 event. Earth's climate is like a machine. At the heart of this machine beats the Atlantic Ocean. This heart is known as the Gulf Stream. Massive warm water masses in the Gulf of Mexico flow north through the Atlantic. When this warm water reaches Europe's shores, it heats the air, regulates rainfall, and keeps the climate in balance. But about 4,200 years ago, this heart lost its rhythm. As glaciers in the North Atlantic melted, cold fresh water entered the sea. This disrupted the salty density that drives the Gulf Stream, slowing the flow. When the current slowed, warm water no longer reached the north. Europe cooled rapidly, Africa dried out, northern Sahara cracked, and winds in the Middle East became harsh and dry. Greenland ice cores show that during these years, sea salinity changed and temperatures dropped abruptly. At that time, the ocean's heart truly stopped. When these factors combined, a domino effect occurred and global climate became unstable. Some regions froze, others scorched. Agricultural societies depended on this balance, and suddenly it was gone. Famine began, water sources dried up, migration started, and the stage was set for the collapse of ancient civilizations like Akkad, ancient Egypt, and the Indus Valley. In Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates, the world's first major empire had risen. Akkad, founded by King Sargon, it was humanity's first experiment in a centralized state. By 2200 BCE, however, these great cities fell silent. The land cracked. Wind carried salt-laden dust into the streets. Rain stopped, rivers receded, and the people began to say, "The gods have abandoned us." Archaeologists found a thin dust layer in places like Tel Leilan, silent witnesses to centuries of drought. King Naram-Sin built temples and offered sacrifices to stop the disaster, but nothing changed. Inscriptions tell of people dying of hunger while praying for rain. The Akkadian Empire quickly collapsed. Cities were abandoned, and people migrated north and west. Thus, the first major collapse of civilization went down in history. At the same time, along the Nile in Egypt, silence began. The long-standing Old Kingdom, the era of pyramids and divine pharaohs, was suddenly shaken. The Nile stopped flooding. For Egyptians, the annual rise of the Nile was sacred. Without it, death followed. Around 2200 BCE, the river failed to rise for consecutive years. Fields dried, grain stores emptied. People rebelled, regions broke away. Central authority collapsed, and wars broke out between kingdoms. Papyrus from the period reads, "The Nile forgot its bed, the rich feared the poor. Every home was filled with hunger. Egypt descended into the so-called First Intermediate Period, a dark age." Not just nature, but order itself had collapsed. In what is now Pakistan and India, a silent giant slept, the Indus Valley civilization. Cities like Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa were advanced, with sophisticated canal systems ahead of their time. But one day the waterways started to diminish. The sacred Sarasvati River dried up. Monsoon rains no longer arrived. Archaeological evidence shows the cities were gradually abandoned. People migrated north toward the Himalayas. As the civilization fell, only stone foundations and mysterious seals remained. Some historians say the Harappans were defeated not by war, but by thirst. And perhaps they are right. Different civilizations, different lands, but the same mark everywhere: drought, migration, collapse. Today, scientists refer to the 4.2 kiloyear event as the most critical climate tipping point of the early Holocene. It's not just a story of the past, it may be a rehearsal for our future. Scientists warn that atmospheric carbon dioxide levels are now at their highest in 800,000 years. Polar ice is melting rapidly, ocean currents are slowing, and monsoon systems are becoming unstable again. Just like 4,200 years ago, nature is quietly sending a warning. According to NASA's latest models, if Atlantic currents weaken further, the Gulf Stream could collapse completely. If that happens, Europe will cool again, and large parts of Africa and Asia will dry out. History seems to be following the same pattern. The difference is this: back then, the disaster was a natural cycle. Now we are accelerating that cycle with our own hands. 4,200 years ago, the Sumerians said, "The gods have taken the water from us." Today we say, "The climate has changed." Perhaps both mean the same thing. Nature is holding a mirror to us. Nature is patient, but patience is not infinite.